of the best social programming that you can offer anyone. And I think that the education is absolutely the key to this issue.
There was a recent report that came out, I think last week, that indicated that our young people across the nation were having less sexual activity, and it dropped significantly over the past few years. Do you see that drop happening in the District of Columbia, and do you attribute that drop to, and what would you attribute that reduction in youth sexual activity?
I mean, I think that if children see their older brothers, sisters, and cousins having children, and how that might have curtailed their futures and their dreams and aspirations, and that is playing a role in people slowing down their activity. There's definitely been a national across the board decrease in teen pregnancy, which is to be applauded. Actually, I expected some claps when you mentioned that, but didn't hear any. But I think that's to be applauded. It's a step in the right direction. It means that people who are working in abstinence programs are having some success. It means that people are seeing their older siblings and older relatives, the choices that they've made and the effects that it's had on their lives, and they decided, well, you know, maybe I'm not going to go down that path. Maybe I'll try something a little bit different. We're also seeing gradual improvement in education across the board. So this newest generation of kids is a little bit sharper with their test scores. We're inching up a little bit here in the district, and we've only got nowhere to go but up from here. So I think that if we work together as a community and let our children know that they're cherished, and know that they've got options, they've got educational options, they've got a future as far as employment options, then they're going to, I think, make the right choices and make the long-term decisions that are going to be best for their future.
Young people are the ones that are going to be most susceptible to actually listening to the message. Adults are the ones where we actually have the greatest concern. And quite frankly, the growth in HIV in the city isn't amongst our youngest folks, it's amongst people who are nearing middle age. It's become heterosexual women of color, the fastest growing population that's susceptible to HIV. The message right now amongst teenagers probably is finally years and years and years of us on many different fronts, you know, whether it's abstinence, whether it's safe sex, whether it's people taking sort of public stands. Finally sort of resonating amongst young folks. And so I think in that sense, it probably, you know, it's scary times, and I think that probably young folks have, and we just like Mr. Brown said, we probably have identified it earlier in education too. It's something that we've talked about not just when they're juniors in high school, because the horse is far, far out of the barn by that point where we should have been having that conversation. So we do start to see like these things being instilled in kids at a younger age in a more appropriate level. It's not a shock and awe sort of campaign. It's something that they grow up with a little bit understanding. So by the time that they become at the age where they may become sexually active, they actually have a pretty good knowledge base that they can draw back on. And again, just like in education, you know, nothing is ever going to be able to trump the values of a family. If you have a strong family foundation around it, like and whether it's reading or math, or just sitting and being able to talk with an adult at home, that is the great groundbreaker right there. Is if you have somebody, whether it's a single mom or it's a maternal grandmother big enough that there's a strong family base, that is better than almost any other form of education.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I think about organizations like when Mr. Urban started, it's all the messaging too. We have to get them to understand how cool it is. You know, we spent generations of seeing how cool it was not. We have to take some ownership of that, and we have to look at how we repackage the way that we send the message out. Now, I don't think old people can send that message. I think that older, more mature people can send that message to you. I just think that the peer-to-peer piece is where it starts. Once you get a few ambassadors that really believe and understand and have researched and understand the value, and they continue to spread the messaging, that's exactly how we make the most impact on the younger people coming up. Because young people are, you know, they're easily influenced, let's just say. I won't say it's peer pressure, but, you know, they're looking for their identity. And I think that when we put resources and support to abstinence programs, we're also giving them and empowering them with the ability to get the message out in a way that's going to be attractive to the young people. And then, you know, one thing leads to another, and you start to have the stats where abstinence is a growing part of our culture, which is now cool to wait, as opposed to the other images that we may have all experienced over the past 30 years or so.
I do want to recognize that we have been graced by the presence of Ms. Mary Lord, who is the D.C. State Board of Education representative. I want to thank her for coming.
And parent of a teenager,
Yes.
two teenagers.
That's right.